Здравствуйте, меня зовут Ричард Гом, приятно познакомиться. And hello everybody, I'm Richard Gong of Work to Live podcast version. In this episode, I started an episode of podcast. In your ordinary manner or in your standardized manner. There's nothing out of ordinary in this time. So why I started it ordinarily or normally is that I maybe this is of course this is my speculation, but actually I found the previous manner of introduction boring to the listeners, which is what I thought. So which is why this time I started in an ordinary manner, so that the listeners of this podcast may find my episodes. So having grown better, or maybe the listeners of my podcast find the episodes I'm going to create in the future comfortable, such as because I quit the previous manner of the beginning of each episode. I mean, so anyway, this time is maybe. If you ask me whether I'm going to contain many digressions even in this time, so the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I'm going to, yeah. So the answer has to be yes I am going to comprise many digressions, not many digressions, or several digressions, or some digressions, and perhaps many digressions into each episode of podcast. That is because, I don't know whether I can successfully, well, I have successfully entertained the listeners, or I don't know whether I may be able to successfully entertain the listeners of my podcast in the future. But actually, digressions. This is my perspective, but actually, so my digressions have gone in favor of the increase of the listeners of my podcast, which is what I think. So this time, which means this time I'm also thinking of the digressing in some directions, or in many directions. But actually, anyway, I should tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. The title is A Reminiscence of the Second World War, and the conclusion is, according to hearsay, President Putin has caught disease, so health matters to all people. So really roughly saying, what I'd like you to know in this episode is that health is important. That's it. Maybe there's nobody who do not know that health is important. Maybe almost all the people have already understood that the importance of health of human of your body, for example, and of your mind. Anyway, of course, so when it comes to so expands the health to a human society. For example, the health. If you talk about the health of a human society, or if you talk about the health of a community you belong to, so of course that is also important. But actually, in this time, so the health I'm talking about is what I'm going to talk about is the health of individual, such as English, which is what I'm going to talk about. Anyway, so maybe. So anyway, so I'm recording this episode in the beginning, or in the middle of November, or in the beginning of November, and November in 2022. So which means the last Ukrainian war has been still prolonged, or the Slavic war has lasted for and in this time, even to this time, or even in this time. So anyway, but actually, so there's a widespread hearsay, or there's a widespread rumor that the President Putin of Russian Federation has caught a disease or has caught some kind of disease, which is why so there's a suspicion, or there's a, how should I say, there's a not allegation, so that anyway, there's a some people say that so his judgment isn't working well, or his judgment as a politician or as a president of a country isn't working well. So because of his disease, that is, so there is such a hearsay, or there is such a rumor, but actually, so yeah, anyway, suspicion is a suitable word, I think, for anyway. Suspicion. Yeah, suspecting that existence of suspecting something on which no evidence. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so there is such a suspicion, or there is such a allegation, or not allegation, stuff like that. There is such a thing like that. So anyway, but actually, so nobody. Few people. I think there must be some people who know the truth about the body condition, or the psychological condition of President Putin. But actually, so if he isn't healthy, so there's of course there's a high possibility that he can't judge things correctly as a president of or as a president of Russian Federation. And so there's a, how should I say, that is a premonition, or that is a, I think, anyway, so what I'm going to talk about is a motto of Russian Federation, which is Mir bez nazizma, which I think is a motto of his politics anyway. Wait a moment, please. Mir bez nazizma. I think that is the correct pronunciation. Mir bez. This world is really convenient because it's possible to investigate many things. I don't know what people do not know on the spot. So which is why. So I don't. If you find something you don't know, so you can find out what they are instantly, or for a short time by using smartphones you have. And if you have smartphones, nazizma. I'm sorry for taking your time for a long, but actually maybe I should tell you, yeah. Mir bez nazizma, which is mir bez nazizma. Mir bez nazizma. I said many times, but actually, so the meaning of English translation, or the translating what I have just said into English language. So the meaning is world without Nazism, which is this is the name of a Russian political organization or party. This is a this is a, how should I say it? This is a motto, or I think this is English language. So slogan is a suitable word for explaining this phrase. Yeah. Slogan or motto, which is mir bez nazizma. I was explaining, and why have told you so many? Why have told you why have told you about that mir bez nazizma, or the world without nazism is that he has a, so the reason why he clings to, or why the president clings to mir bez nazism, or the world without nazism, is that, so I think one of the reasons is that he has a lost brother. So what I'm saying is that he has a brother who lost during the Second World War before Mr. President Mr. President Putin Mr. President Putin was born, and the name of that brother is you can find us the name of his brother who deceased before 10 some years before the President Putin was born, and he passed away, or he was killed in the siege of Leningrad. There was such a siege during the time of the Second World War, or the World War II, and in which his brother, that brother of his passed away, or he was killed by the war, or by the siege anyway. Such a thing happened in Leningrad, and so I think that is one of the reasons why he has clung to neo-Nazism or Nazism. And the name of that brother is Victor or Victor, using Russian pronunciation. And he was born in 1940, according to Wikipedia of English version. And he died of diphtheria and starvation in 1942 during the siege of Leningrad by Nazi Germany's forces. And such a thing occurs to his brother. So which is why. So I think that is the reason. And by the way, so Vladimir Putin was born. He was born in 1952. So he was born when his parents were in their 40s. So anyways, when he was born, his parents had not so being old, but actually not being so old, but actually anyway. So in the case of not, how should I say, in the case of ordinary people, or for there's maybe fewer people have their own parents who gave birth to their own children when they were in their 40s or older. What I'm saying is that, so most people, in the case of most people, the discrepancies or the differences of ages between your parents and yourselves are 30 some years, or less than 30 years in some cases. And some people give birth to their own children when they are teenagers. When they are teenagers, they are, of course, small number of people give birth to their own children when they are teenagers. But actually, so most people experience fast pregnancies, or fast children, or fast births, actually when they are in their late 20s. Anyway, so which is why, so when the parents of President Putin were in their 40s, they gave birth to President Putin. So that the age discrepancy is almost 40 years, or 40 years, or approximately 40 years anyway. I'm sorry for my clumsy explanation in English language, and if you are frequent listeners of my podcast, maybe I think you have been tolerant, or you are really I think you are generous people if you are frequent listeners of my podcast. That is because my mother tongue is Japanese, so which is why, so speaking English is really difficult, which means, and roughly, not roughly saying, I have many difficulties when speaking English. That is because my mother tongue and English language are really different. There's common points between English language and my mother tongue. To start with, my mother tongue is not so close to Chinese language. Although my mother tongue has many Chinese characters, or my language uses Chinese characters frequently. But actually, so when it comes to comparing the distances of languages, or linguistic distances between my language and other languages, maybe my language is close to Korean language and perhaps to Russian language rather than to Chinese language anyway. Some people say in my country that Chinese language is really close to English language anyway, by the way. And so it is why, so thinking about such an environment in which President Vladimirovich Putin had grown up, and so that is the situation is that he had a brother who died ten some years before he was born, and he passed away because of the attacks of the forces of Nazi Germany. So thinking about it, and he was President Putin was from Saint Petersburg or St. Petersburg. So St. Petersburg was Leningrad during the time of World War II, and afterwards until the dissolution of Soviet Union, after the dissolution of Soviet Union, the St. Petersburg changed its name from Leningrad to the present was the incumbent name St. Petersburg or Saint Petersburg. And anyway, so which is why, so his brothers and his lost brothers or his parents had experienced that harsh siege of Leningrad. So which is why I think considering such a background Mr. President Putin had experienced, and so when he is healthy, or if he is healthy, so ideal figure or ideal politician would not involve his or her own personal experiences into the judgments in the situation of politics. But actually, so if he is not healthy, so he may accidentally involve such personal backgrounds into the severe judgments of other politicians, or he may involve, or he may count, he may count on, or he may use such pieces of his own personal background into for making decisions, or for making judgments about the politically important realms, or about politically important topics for when he needs to make judgments, or when he needs to make decisions. So he may accidentally involve such personal experience that for example, he has a brother who passed away in the siege of Leningrad, and which was executed by Nazi Germany, which can work in, for example, such a personal experience may contribute to the provocation of last Ukrainian war. It might be possible to say so. And of course, what I have talked about is it's just my own personal guesswork or speculation, and it's really difficult. It's really difficult to draw a conclusion. It's really difficult to conclude which caused which event, or which is a factor of the judgment, which decided to provoke that last Ukrainian war. But actually, if he is not healthy, if he is not healthy, or if he is not healthy, he might have started, or he might have begun the last Ukrainian war because of his own personal background in which, and he might have considered, or he might have been concerned about that lost brother who had died in the siege of Leningrad. So such a thing is what I'd like you to think about. Yes. So I'd like you to know what I have. I'd like you to understand what I have told you. But actually, what I'd like you to think about there can be such a possibility. And this is all the things I'd like to tell you this time. So the title is, wait a moment please. So title is Not the Siege, a reminiscence of the Second World War, which is why, so in this episode I use the word reminiscence or the and which is why I created this title, a reminiscence of the Second World War. And the conclusion is, according to a hearsay, President Putin has caught disease. Health matters to all people, and I'm going to add a link of President Putin into the description column of this episode, and from which, so you can read that part where there's a writing explaining his lost brother. And in the case of Wikipedia in this time, so where to check is early life of Mr. Vladimir Putin. So that's it. Please check out the description column of this episode. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.